Hello and welcome to a new tutorial series. It is finally here. If you follow me on Twitter, you've heard me talk about it for quite a few weeks now. It has taken me some time to get this put together, but I wanted to make sure that it got put together the way I wanted it because it is a very involved game. This project's going to be several videos long because there are a ton of different things we're going to do, and I'm going to talk about that in this video. I decided to do this one introductory video to get all of that out of the way, and then in the next video we are just going to dive headfirst into it and get started. So first things first, let's talk about what we are creating. This is kind of a mobile themed game, not themed, but just a mobile style, the way you would play it. It plays vertically 9x16 instead of a 16x9. It's also mobile in the sense that it is theoretically controlled with touch controls. That is a very important part of understanding this game, is that there is one control, and that is jump. You have a character that runs from, he just runs. And we, the player, do not have control over anything other than his jump. First, this might sound a little basic, but the way that it is presented in the game with some clever design, it creates a very challenging gameplay. There are ways that we can create puzzles and strategy. There's goals to be met that add an extra challenge to the game, but there's also ways that you can play it a little more casually. Nonetheless, only being able to control the jump restricts the player, adding the challenge, but it also creates a lot of the fun in the game by only having to worry about that one control. So let's look at a couple of things here. This is the initial level that I had created for this game, and it ended up being the final version of my first level. We will create this level together. In fact, we will create everything you see together through these videos. I do not leave anything behind. We are going to create the entire game, all the parts of it, and actually the art assets will be available. That link is in the description below and will be in the description of all the videos, so you can access that drive and download those assets. It is all the art that we use in this game. Most of it I have created myself. Let's just talk about this game first. So this represents our player for right now. This is our spawn point, and he runs, and that's what he does. So we are able to run through this area, and then we can jump onto these barrels and these other ledges, and we want to avoid spikes because those would hurt. We have springboards, and we have these little jump through areas where it is still a ledge, but we can actually jump through it, where you can't jump through the larger ledges. We have coins to collect, and we have spikes that hurt, and we have a little bit of a decoration going on behind here in the walls, and this is all painted on using tile maps. And I'm going to show you real quick what the game sees is our collisions, and I'm going to turn that on over here in the layers. So all these are all color coded. I'm going to turn off our tile map, and this is what the game sees. We have our player collides with the red, those are the ledges, that's what the player stands on. The yellow are walls. Every time the player collides with a yellow, it changes whatever direction the player is facing or running. When it hits a yellow, it goes the other way. And then we have our jump throughs. Those are the green ones. And then our purple is our death. You don't want to land on purple. So this is what the game sees. And this breaks it down for us and makes it a lot easier to manage and design our levels, because we can start with nothing and paint our levels out, or our ideas, with objects and bricks and things like that. And then we can add the collisions to make the game functional. So I just want to give you an idea of what the game, how the game works on our end, the developer's end. So let's just go ahead and play it, and I'll show you what we have in store for you. So I'm going to preview the whole project. And right away you can tell that we have some background music. I did not create the background music. I did create some of the sound effects, but everything I got is available on opengameart.org, I believe. I will try to leave some links to these assets, and it's a great place to have assets. Just make sure you read the agreement, the license agreement, before you use something in your game. These are all free to use. I am not going to publish this game with this music in it just because I want to create music for this game myself, but this is what we have for right now. You can replace it with whatever music you want, or you can use this music as well. I have made it available in the assets folder on the Google Drive. So, first thing you see is our title page, and I'm using the mouse as our control, but a click on the mouse would equal the same as a touch or tap on the screen of a mobile device. And if you look down here, we have a cogwheel, and if we click on it, we have options with a little sound effect, and one of the options is mute, and that just mutes the sound. So pretty cool little feature. And then of course we can unmute it, and then we have links here. We have Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, and we'll go through how to set those up and where to link them to. Each one of these goes to my accounts, the Facebook page for this channel, my Twitter account for this channel, and this YouTube channel. So that's pretty cool. If I were to press quit, it would just take us all the way out of the game, and play takes us into the game. Now this is basically where everything is controlled from, and this is our map, and our map can scroll, and of course we have our options still, or we can exit out of it and it takes us back to the title. So let's go back into the map, and this is set up like you would see a lot of the match 3 games, like say Candy Crush, for example. You have levels that are locked that become unlocked once you pass the level before it. And then when you pass a level, you can earn up to 3 stars, like in Candy Crush or a game like that. We use crowns instead of stars. Thought that was appropriate, but we have a little waving flag marker as well, so that shows us which castle is our next castle to go to play. So I'm going to go ahead and click on it, and we have a little entrance sound. Ready, run, and we can just start going. And our little coins have little sparkle particle effects on them, and we have music, sound effects. Our little guy grunts when he jumps, and I've played through this level a million times, so I'm kind of just blasting through it right now, but you can kind of get an idea of how it creates a puzzle by just the way you lay the level out. And we finally get to our goal, which is this diamond. And then it sends us to, this is a whole nother layer, and it tells us we got 13 out of 20 possible gold. Our time count was 251, and then of course we have our options, and we can just hit next. It takes us back to the map, and I only earned 2 out of the 3 possible crowns, and our little map marker moved on to the next castle. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to quit out of this. I'm going to quit out of the title screen. So I have gone back and quit the entire game. So I want to show you something here. If I preview the project again, and we get our title screen. I go to play, and it has saved our progress. So another feature, very useful, helpful feature inside Construct 3 is our ability to save certain parts and certain information that will help us save our project. So, some other things I want to show you before we get started in the next video is we have tons of layouts and event sheets. In fact, I will go to Tools and View Project Statistics here. We have a total of 13 layouts that we'll be using, 18 event sheets, a total of 226 events, 173 conditions, 390 actions, 75 object types. That would be to start the game. We create many more inside the game once the game is started. I even created a template layout so that we don't have to set up so much stuff each time we want to create a new level. And this makes it to where we can just keep adding levels and adding levels and adding levels as long as you're willing to go through the process of designing them. And once you complete this entire project, everything will be set up. All you will have to do is go through and design new levels. And if I haven't mentioned already, I think it's pretty obvious. This project will surpass the restrictions of the free version of either Construct 2 or 3. I'm pretty sure everything we do can be done in Construct 2. I don't see why it wouldn't be able to. I'm pretty sure you can. But if you are using Construct 2 or Construct 3, you're going to have the paid version of either one of those, because we surpassed the 50 event limit very quickly. We also use a lot of other features that we really have to have in the project in order for this project to work the way that it does. And I feel like that there is more than just the technical side that I'm offering in this tutorial series. We're not just talking about how to code something, how to program it, how to set it up inside a Construct 3. We talk a lot about how the game engine works, but we also talk a lot about game design and how it affects people that play our games, or what I have always heard or referred to as game design theory, where we talk about how to design something and why we design it that way. It's kind of the psychological aspect of knowing what your audience wants. I think it's pretty valuable information, and I hope that you are able to get out of this project as much as I did. And one last thing before we get started is I want to point out that if you know anything about Construct 3 already and you have your own way of doing things, there are several ways to do everything that we do in this project. Just keep that in mind if you are starting to develop your own style. However, if you're still pretty new to all of this, you might want to stick as close as you can to what I am doing, because this is a very long, very detailed, very involved project. I hope that you are able to stick through it all the way. You're going to learn a lot, and I am ready to get this started. So that is it for this video. In the next video, we are going to dive right in.